MeUndies, the show where we talk about video games every single week.
Yay!
I'm Ashley.
I'm Cole.
And I'm Alfredo.
Yay!
Yay.
Have you guys ever been on a show together?
Have we been on? No, we haven't done it on the spot yet.
Not yet.
We did improv class together.
Yeah, we did like 8 weeks of improv.
We're sexy babies.
That's pretty awesome. Sexy Babies?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the name of our.
that's our name
the
of our
RT
Slack group.
Behind the doors, behind the
I like
scenes
it.
improv
Yeah.
crew.
I
Sexy
like
babies.
it.
Yeah.
But you don't just do improv, you also play video games, and
do.
that's what we're going to talk about this week. We're going to talk, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the news. Xbox has announced some revisions to Xbox Game Pass that are pretty significant and also having some pretty major implications with retailers. We'll get into that. And also, I need some help. I'm trying to get fit, I'm trying to get back in shape, and I'm trying to do some gamification. So we need to talk about gamification of fitness because I basically don't know how to do anything without rewards. So we'll get into all that. And I want to say thank you to our sponsor for this episode, MeUndies. We'll discuss them more in just a little bit, but they're absolutely amazing. What have you guys been playing lately?
Whew, what have I been playing?
We've been playing, cool.
With the announcement of Dark Souls on the Switch, I've been playing Dark Souls 3 because I never finished the DLC. And then also been playing the beta for Monster Hunter World.
Which comes out tomorrow. So this show is recorded on
for
Thursday mornings.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yes.
For PC.
Yeah, for PC it doesn't come out till August.
That's going to be a very long wait.
I'm a sucker, so I'm gonna buy like the base version and everything for PlayStation and play, and then get
Fully
all like
move
the extra
over.
stuff. Yeah, like
Okay.
I doubt they will, but I really hope that they have like you can transfer character over. I don't think there's ever a chance they would. But
I
Unlikely.
hope some games start doing that. At least the way GTA 5 did it, where you could do a one-time character transfer.
Yeah.
I was like, just give me that. You know, just one time. I'll come in.
I bought your game
I'll
twice.
buy both games, yeah. Give
Well,
me some
that's-
one-time transfer.
People will do it anyway a lot of times. I know there were a lot of people who bought Destiny 2
Oh, yeah.
on
Every
console
platform.
and then were like, I'm going to get it on PC as well.
See,
Grind.
Some of them may or may not have actually ended up getting it on PC because by the time they got to PC, a lot of people I think were starting to fall off it. But there was definitely the intention, even if characters couldn't move over.
see, that's exactly what happened to me. Where I was like, I'm gonna play Destiny on PC, and then by the time it came out on PC, nobody was playing Destiny anymore. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna buy Destiny then.
Right,
So
just
I-
gave it a skip.
Yeah, it was like I heard it's fun, heard it's good, but nobody's playing now, and I
Have you
Yeah, but-
raided in Destiny 2?
what?
Have you done the raid in Destiny?
I haven't played Destiny 2 at all.
Because
Have
you were
you
waiting.
raided
I was
in the first Destiny?
Yeah, so I had
Okay.
I had a bad Destiny history. I bought it.
as many have.
I bought it and like had no friends, and so I had nobody to play with.
Oh, cool, that's sad.
Well, I had one friend, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm getting an Xbox." So I was like, "Okay, cool, I got an Xbox." But then we started playing, and he was like, "Oh no, I'm done."
Oh.
So we stopped playing. So then I just
Baited.
played by myself and got like the max level, and I was like, "Well, I can't raid." Well, then I started working here, and Miles was like, "Oh, you idiot! You should have got it on a PS4." So I bought a PS4, bought Destiny, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're all done playing now." So I just leveled up to full and was like, "Okay."
just getting
and it wasn't
baited
until, like,
around.
That's rough.
2 years after that, Miles' brother actually was like, "Hey, Miles said he never raided with you. Come raid with us." And like
There
his
you
brother
go.
took me in and
There you go.
protected me.
See, that's a good guardian right there.
Yeah. It was fun. I liked the raiding. I was like, "Oh, so this is what the game is. This
It's very
is what
cool.
it's supposed to be."
Yeah, that's like the end game.
Yeah.
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 Coming from someone who was like grew up on console, that whole experience of like of just the mechanics of figuring out a raid and progressing through it, and I was like, this is awesome. This is what like of course PC players have been playing that for the longest time with like Warcraft and
Yeah.
everything.
Wow.
And I was like, this is a console experience I've never had before. And it was really cool.
Destiny did a lot of things really right, I think, it wasn't perfect, but they were trying to figure out how to get that kind of MMO experience working properly on console, because it doesn't seem right to do just like a one-to-one necessarily
Yeah.
with every type of game or every type of genre, so they wanted to adapt it. And while, they had like it sort of functions as a hybrid. They're like, we want to keep the multiplayer, the grouping of stuff that we're familiar with, but add in all these persistent elements from MMOs and create this thing. And I think they did a really good job
I think they did a pretty good job, yeah.
on Destiny 1.
Well, Destiny 1 was definitely like, you gave it time. You're like, okay, this is this is like a first-person MMO. This is different. This is new. Bungie's doing this for the first time. You gave them like the time and like, oh, okay, you know, they're stumbling along the way. Destiny 2 came out, and I was like, okay, not too shabby. It's not the biggest leap that we were hoping for. And then now they're seeing like the lowest count in their in the Crucible like player base like, ever in Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. And so it's just like, man, I just really wish Destiny 2 came out a lot stronger.
Yeah. That's one of the things we'll discuss.
Patience wore thin.
A little bit more when we get into the news, because there are some sort of developments with that. Minor developments, but still. But overall, I would like to see that game recover and do well.
Yeah,
and it can
I
be
would
done.
too.
It can be done. Like The Division has done a great job of being an ongoing game that's servicing its player base. A lot of people fell off it. It didn't have the strongest launch. They released some major updates, really refined the way the game worked, made some changes, and it brought a lot of players back.
Yeah. The Division is in a good spot right now. I feel like you asked a lot of people or look at a lot of the updated reviews and stuff. Like the latest update, I think it's like 1.8. Apparently it's like just massive. Lots of tweaks to the game modes, a lot of additions and whatnot. And I was a player that played 600 hours of the Division when it came out. So
that's a lot of Division.
So I'm at this like crossroads of like, I've already been there, or do I go back because I feel like maybe I owe it to myself to play the best that it is.
Because that sounds like every WoW player.
Oh,
like I've been there before. I've done it. Do I go back though? They made an expansion.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely the day and age of like you could revisions. Like you could revise your game and rejuvenate it. Like Division, Rainbow Six.
And if you do it right too, people kind of forget the misgivings they had before.
Forget it.
Like it can really change the perception of the entire game's history to some degree.
Yep.
Like when the Division came out and it shed a lot of its player base very, very quickly, and it had a lot of flaws. People, like the story of that game was, this is a failure.
Yep.
This didn't work. This is a flop. They continued to support it. They soldiered on. They made the revisions. They made all these changes. And now, when you talk to someone about the Division, no one thinks, oh, that failure.
Yeah. And at some point, it seems like even...
You disagree?
I feel like a lot of people left with that thought for the Division. And so it's very much like a slow comeback of like, oh, did you hear the Division is pretty good now? Did you hear the latest update's pretty awesome? Like a lot of... I feel like it's in that realm. If not, like a lot of people just like, oh, sure, yeah. I mean, you know, it was a game.
Like played it when it came out, didn't really like it, moved on.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. What have you been playing, Cole? Besides how's that DLC? You were saying the Dark Souls 3?
Yeah. I didn't play either, so I'm doing the painted. No, it's the Secret World of Ariandel. I don't know what the name of it is. I went into a painting and I'm fighting snow. I'm fighting Vikings.
Wait, like
wolf.
into a painting like Mario style?
Yeah, like some dude was like, "Hey, touch this," and I was like,
Obviously.
"All right, Dark Souls, you touch it."
Yeah.
And I got sucked into it. I got sucked into his hand, and he started laughing, and then I fought a bunch of Vikings.
Nice. There was a
Video games.
Yeah.
God, I remember there was. It was either in Oblivion or in Skyrim, where you end up going into a painting for something, and like you go in and you fight something, and it's all done in like watercolor.
I think.
You remember?
Yeah, I think it was much more fleshed out in Oblivion.
It was Oblivion. Okay. Yeah, I just remember there was some kind of quest, like something was missing or someone was missing. Someone needs a thing. It's typical quest. And so you go up to this painting, you can go inside it, and then the whole world's watercolor. And I feel like I was fighting like some weird Yeti type thing.
Yeah, they had like the painted trolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all I remember is they regenerated health like stupid fast.
Yeah, that was cool though. That was a very surreal kind of thing that it worked so well in that game.
Cole, the DLC you're talking about is Ashes of Ariandel.
Yes, Ashes of Ariandel, not the Ringed City. That's the other one.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Gotcha.
I know Dark Souls.
Are you liking it?
I love it. I love Dark Souls.
Dark Souls is awesome. It's also just like man, you're a masochist for
So
like
yeah,
that game.
so we were talking about
Do you like games that punish you?
to a certain extent. Like we were talking recently about it, about how it's kind of almost therapeutic in a strange, weird, messed up sort of way, where it's just like, okay, I know I'm gonna die. Like I know I'm gonna die in this, so let's just like go, like meticulously learn this process, and that's just the only thing you have to put your mind on. And so it's okay, I'm gonna get this far and mess up. Okay, well now I'm gonna get there and then succeed. Okay, well I beat that one part, then I died again. I was like, well now I know the path to get to that part again, as well as I think personally Dark Souls is best played co-op. Because you can like have your buddies and run around and
Help each other out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I've never had that Dark Souls experience. So.
Yeah.
Never co-op? Or
I was
never
always
Dark Souls
afraid.
at all?
No, I've done Dark Souls and I've done Bloodborne, which I'm excited for a Bloodborne sequel.
Just never co-op.
I just haven't done co-op. I was always afraid of like opening my world and having people come in and just mop me real bad.
See,
I was like, okay.
like my roommate that I play with, he's
Yeah, but what's okay for you, Alfredo? Because you're really good at games.
Shooters though. Other games, like, it varies. I'm really terrible at platformers. I was playing God of War 3 once. This is an embarrassing story. And I had to pass the controller to my ex-girlfriend because I couldn't get Kratos to jump from one ledge to the other. I couldn't get the timing down. So, you know, highs and lows of my gaming career.
No, I like it. I like it. It's you gotta have those humble moments so you appreciate when you like do some real boss moves. Also, kudos to your ex-girlfriend.
For hitting the jump button.
Not everyone likes platforming though. Gus actually hates platforming games.
I don't hate it, I just suck at it really bad. I can't get the timing down, like the depth of the jumps too. It just eludes me.
Yeah, that can always be a little bit tough, especially with 3D ones, where the angle can just be a little bit off, and that makes all the difference.
Yeah, you just miss it by a pixel and just fall and die.
I don't have too much to report. I'm still playing through Final Fantasy X on Vita. I finally got to the Chocobo racing. It's as bad as I remember. It is as terrible as I remember. That's all I have to say. I was really worried that I was going to finish Final Fantasy X before I get on a plane to RTX Sydney next week, and that I would have nothing to play.
Oh, no.
Then I remembered, no, I will probably still be trying to race a Chocobo. And even if I beat the stupid fucking Chocobo, I still have Final Fantasy X too. I need to.
Do they have that on PS Vita as well? Nice.
Yeah, I think I bought them in like a bundle.
I think I remember hearing that they were releasing that. That's awesome. I love mobile old console games. I wish every old console game was mobile.
Yeah.
On like I wish every PlayStation.
It works out really well. Just when I was playing through Final Fantasy X on PS2, I'd have to sit down at the TV, and I would always have to commit a reasonably significant period of time, at least an hour to really make any sort of progress. But with something like the Vita, where I can just pause and turn it off, I can go through, have a couple fights, make a couple steps forward in an area, and that's fine. That's enough. And so it's actually been really great for me to be able to just play in little bite-sized chunks whenever and wherever I can. And it looks great. I mean, the Vita's screen is awesome.
Yeah.
I still feel bad for that console, for that poor little handheld.
I bought it when it first came out, and I just wasn't patient enough to wait for games to come out. I was like the first day adopter, and I was like, bought all the games at launch, and then after that, I was just like, year down the line, I was like, I don't have anything else to do with this, so.
Yeah.
It's become like my JRPG machine. It's like, that's the only place they release all of these games. So I'm like, okay, well, it's awesome because it's portable and has all the games that I want to play.
Pretty much, which makes it that's an expensive investment if you're only going to do a couple games. But if they're those 100-hour plus games, suddenly it becomes really reasonable.
Yeah, as well as I bought it secondhand from a friend who bought it day one and was like, I bought all the games and now I hate it. Here, $100, take it from me.
Take it.
I was like, okay,
Just take it.
You're like, sure, why not?
Yeah, it's nice. So I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Mad at giant birds. Why are they so mean?
You'll get it, Ashley. You'll get it.
But at least I look good while I'm playing it. You know why?
Why?
Because of MeUndies. This episode of Glitch Please is brought to you by MeUndies. You want to look good when you're gaming in your underpants and also with your significant other on Valentine's Day, right? So then check out MeUndies Matching Pairs, a unique fun gift for you and your Valentine. They're the perfect balance of comfortable fit and exciting prints. Check out MeUndies.com and find the best match for your match. Honestly, they have like new patterns every month and they're super fun. Yesterday, I wore Green Army Men. It was a delight.
Army guy?
Hot damn.
Yeah, little Green Army Men underpants, and I was so happy about it. Today is like an abstract 80s print.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got like some cool 90s ones. I'm really into it. I always feel like I'm wearing like cute underwear.
Yeah.
But I'm like the only one who knows it.
But hey,
it's my secret.
But
it makes you feel good.
Yeah, and you emit that aura. You're like, yeah, I got good
Rocking
underwear.
that 80s
That's right.
vibe.
That's right. MeUndies are the most comfortable and fun undies you and your significant other will ever own. They're made from the softest materials on earth. I'm talking 3 times softer than cotton. Match pairs are a fun, thoughtful, comfortable gift you can share with your significant other. 100% satisfaction guarantee. MeUndies guarantees you and your significant other are going to love your matching pairs or your money back. Right now, MeUndies has exclusive Valentine's Day offer. It's just for our listeners. For any first-time purchases, when you purchase MeUndies matching pairs, you get 20% off and free shipping. So your underpants are not only very exciting and very comfortable, but they also won't break the bank. MeUndies is so sure you're going to love their underwear, they offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you don't love your first pair, you get a full refund. To get your 20% off matching pairs, free shipping, a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/glitch. That's MeUndies.com/glitch. This will be the best Valentine's Day gift that you will give. Start matching your bottom half to your better half. Go to MeUndies.com/glitch right now, or right after you finish watching this episode. But they really are fun.
I like
and they've
that.
got all these like
that
limited
little line
edition
put a smile on
prints.
my face. Cole and I were just
Yeah,
like,
match your bottom half to your better half. Oh,
Yeah, that's
that.
right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like running around the house in like matching underpants? It'd be fun.
Oh, all the time. That sounds about like a good Sunday.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into talking about the news. Okay, so
Is that
first
Snoop?
of all, the Snoop Dogg
Yep.
thing is
That was
incredible.
SOS, yeah.
This was a thing that that popped up on Twitch, where Snoop Dogg was streaming like an early build of this SOS game. He was really good at it, which is amazing. Turns out it's because he wasn't playing it.
Oh.
And so it was this, it was an endorsement. It was done via Twitch. It was live streamed as if he was playing it,
Feel
but he
so
wasn't.
lied to.
You didn't realize he wasn't playing?
I didn't have enough time to like dig into. I was like, oh, Snoop's playing, cool, all right. I watched like 5 seconds, like that's pretty funny, and then I had to move on. There's too much stuff on the internet to consume.
Yeah, well, that one is a particularly amusing one. So then it opens like all these conversations you have to have about like celebrity endorsements and how does that fit with this sort of new media where people expect a level of authenticity with that sort of thing. And then it turns out, he wasn't even playing it. He didn't give a shit. He was just endorsing it, doing his celebrity endorsement thing.
I feel like with that
Also,
type of thing.
This is the favorite thing I ever saw on the internet about this. The only time he's not a player.
Ooh. That's good.
You could tell she was holding. She was just waiting to get.
Yeah,
that
she was
one
like,
out.
she was like,
She was
okay,
just
we
like,
have to talk about the story.
It's not original to me, but I love it because I was like, oh, damn, that's right.
She's like, got him, roasted. I feel like with that type of situation, I honestly feel like the internet would take it pretty positively if you were just open about it. Like, hey, we're gonna have someone else playing. Snoop Dogg's just kind of gonna talk in the comms, especially with a game like SOS. So SOS is like a battle royale type game, but it's very based around like a game show theme and role playing. So with that specifically, I feel like that's the perfect platform to be like, hey, we're gonna have Snoop, he's just gonna role play. We're gonna play and he's just gonna go ahead and narrate and role play to be awesome. Because I feel like when you take that route, you could start bringing in a whole bunch of different actors that don't necessarily play games. And sometimes when they do, it'd be awkward. Just have them come in, kind of narrate, have fun with it, react to it, etc. I don't know. I feel like you can just be open and honest.
Yeah, I feel like, especially, that's one of the like best parts about Twitch is transparency. It's that like, you feel an intimate connection with the person you're watching. So,
And you're seeing like their authentic gameplay experience.
Yeah.
You're seeing their reactions in real time. You're seeing everything.
Well, then again, I should have
Snoop
known when
Dogg.
he was just like moving the
He's, like,
blunt
moving
around.
around and also
the
just,
character is still going like this.
Yeah. So it does seem like what you're saying is this was unnecessarily elaborate ruse, and they could have just made it an honest, simple thing, and would have been fine.
Especially with this game, when it's so based around role playing.
Yeah.
It's just like, cool, we're gonna have Snoop. He's gonna talk to the server. He's gonna role play. He's gonna do Snoop things, and we'll just go ahead and make sure we put him
act on it,
in
like-
the good situations.
Yeah.
To keep
Yeah.
a narrative going.
But there's a lot going on with Twitch. Another thing that's happening with Twitch actually is I'm sure you've seen this, that Twitch has signed a deal with a bunch of major gaming YouTubers to do exclusive content for Twitch.
Yeah.
Saw that.
So this is actually a deal that came through Disney Interactive or Disney Digital. So Disney owns Maker Studios, and so they signed with a bunch of the big Maker gaming YouTubers, including Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and a couple of others, to do exclusive content on Twitch. And Disney made it sound like they want to diversify from YouTube, so they're not feeling as confident as they once did in YouTube as a platform. The money has dropped
Rightfully
for a
so.
lot of gaming YouTubers. Then that, of course, affects Maker, which is going to look back to Disney, and so they're going to find other ways to try to move those major personalities and their audiences to somewhere that they can better monetize.
Yeah.
So right now they're working on building Twitch.
Yeah. Well, and Twitch is
Smart move.
set up. I mean, I think recently they just added
They
video on demand.
announced that with
VOD.
this announcement. Yeah, so they're doing like premieres, so you can have pre-recorded videos, but they premiere on Twitch. So even though they're pre-recorded, everyone watches them at the same time, so they can have a live chat experience and a community experience with it, which I find to be quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of blending the best of both of like appointment viewing with video on demand.
Yeah, although it is funny that's like, hey, and you can also like schedule reruns.
Yeah.
During live, and it's like, you guys, you're like old TV now.
Yep.
What's old is new again.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see how they balance that out in all the directories and whatnot. Because right now they have where you could essentially rebroadcast your past broadcast, and that was being plugged into the same directory as like the live feeds. So you'd have like these big Twitch streamers who have like 30,000 views when they're live, throw on a past broadcast when they're offline, and then that would also be up there too. So like that hindered growth for a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So I'd be very interested to see like how they balance this out. Like if it's specific content for say the League of Legends.
Yeah.
Like is that go in the League of Legends directory?
Or is it the
Or-
League of Legends rerun?
Yeah,
League
like
of
where
Legends,
like is there a separate directory that could be convoluted as well? Like
Yeah.
I want to see that balance and what that looks like.
It could be tough. Do you think that having some of these really major YouTubers come over, do you think that will positively or negatively impact existing streamers that are trying to make it on Twitch? Like, because you get these big personalities with big audiences, and they could be very magnetic. Do you think there's any risk of them drawing audiences away from other streamers?
I feel like a lot of people are going to say that, but it's already happening on Twitch. There's so many people that stream now and just hit the live button when they play video games that it's very hard to grow an audience, as it is already. Of course, like,
and
sure, this will make it a little bit harder, but
I also think this increases Twitch's user base.
yeah.
Like if Markiplier on his YouTube channel goes, hey, I'm going to be putting a lot more content on Twitch now.
And suddenly millions of people start checking out Twitch. Maybe they didn't before.
And the big thing too is that hopefully it whips YouTube into shape, where they're just like, man, we're messing up and we can't continue to keep messing up because we have major companies just looking elsewhere to put their content, and like we were the destination.
Other destinations who are like, please come to us. We want to make it as enticing. Like Twitch, I know they're begging for people to come over from YouTube.
Yeah.
So.
And now's the perfect time.
Yeah.
I think YouTube knows they're messing up.
Yep.
It's just how to fix it.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to fix all of these different verticals on YouTube with one solution.
Yeah.
You know, that's a very tall order.
Yeah.
But you do have Twitch that's setting its sights on the gaming space. You have these other ones that are going to be setting their sights on music and so on and so forth. So there's going to be probably a lot of different companies just whittling away at those sort of genre-specific areas. And I mean, we've kind of known that Amazon's wanted to take on YouTube in some way for a while, right? And now with them owning Twitch, it's like that may be their way in.
Yeah.
Or at least for gaming content.
Oh yeah, Twitch is just a huge competitor.
Twitch
now
gaming
in the
content?
gaming space.
I know they've also had a lot of success with their rebroadcasting other shows. Like they've had like
Yu-Gi-Oh.
They had Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, they had,
they had
big
a
marathons.
Ruby Block. They had the Crunchyroll, and Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, yeah.
It's like they're hungry. They're wanting to get the people who used to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
The other element to consider is now that they're doing more with these like premieres and pre-recorded content, is there any risk of that shifting the Twitch culture? Because like the Twitch culture is that live, that that interaction with the streamer. You'll still get interaction with each other if you're all watching something pre-recorded together. But does it dilute Twitch's sort of culture of that like live interaction with the channel?
I think it does, but I think if they want to grow, it kind of has to, because like Twitch is 100% appointment viewing. You have to be able to sit at your computer and watch for an extended period of time, like hours, if you want to have that full experience with that streamer. And that's like the more and more people that you try to follow, that's just not possible. So with this like kind of go to video on demand, it kind of does hurt that like relationship, but it also still provides a space for that relationship to exist. So I mean, you can watch a person's broadcasts over and over, and then maybe you could catch the live show like that weekend that he does have the live show, and you can still chat with them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it does kind of hurt it a little bit.
Yeah, but I kind of feel what you're talking about. Like it'd be growing pains, but at the end of the day, you get a lot of cross-pollination. So you get people that don't necessarily want to watch live feeds, but they come in for these premiere videos, and they're already on the platform, and it's easy for them to take a quick route to a live channel. It's like, oh, I just watched a premiere video for, I don't know, Dota, and oh look, there's like some live Dota stuff. If they're watching a Dota thing, they'd probably watch Twitch anyways, but it's still like a short example of that. So I feel like eventually you'll start having audiences kind of pop over to each other. As I know, like Twitch, like somewhat recently revamped their site. I feel like with everything that they're trying to do, I'd like to see. I like that they keep pushing the bar. I really would like to see a little bit more focus on the back end. I know they just added dashboards to like your Twitch dashboard to mobile, so that's good. Stuff like that would be great for the actual like content producer experience. But I feel like with everything that they're trying to do, we might need a new view, like a new way to kind of like see the site. Yeah. Instead of just like directories and like your list of follows and whatnot. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, the discoverability needs to go up somehow.
Yeah. I feel like it's getting a little shallow now, depending on like with all the things that they're trying to do. So.
Yeah, well, because the noise floor comes up is there's so many different streamers streaming so many different things, or a bunch of people streaming all the same thing, and you're going down the list of like, here's the most viewed channel, and then it just goes down and lists them, but there's really nothing to distinguish each stream either. Everything feels just sort of like, here, I don't know, click on one of these 50 League of Legends things. Like, here's a pro guy, here's some little guys.
And they've experimented with some things. Like, I know with CS, you can go into the CS directory, look for a specific map if you want to watch a specific map, because CS matches last for so long. Maybe, honestly, it might be something as simple as like a sorting list, where it's just like, cool, I'll sort by default. It's the most viewed to the least views. Or change that sorting list to these are event streams, right? Or like this one's doing something for for Extra Life. Or this is a speed run, like direct sorting list or something.
More fine details, because I know like I've wished so many times, like, because I want to get into fighting games. I mean, like, well, I want to find out how to play this character, but nobody's playing that character on a stream at that time. So I'm like, okay, well, if you had like a little search function, you could find who's playing a character you want to like learn more about, or who's playing a specific like type of build in a game. You want to try to see like, oh, in League of Legends, this guy's building like this. Let's see how it turns out.
And I know some people are like, well, if you're looking for a specific fighter and people are hopping around fighters, that can be kind of difficult. It's like, well, at that point, it's up to the content creator to be like, okay, I want to be kind of like just at a default setting. Or I want, if I change it up, you could put that load onto your mods at that point, right? Where the mods, as it is already, you change the game, they update the title, they update the game directory, etc. So you can maybe offload that onto them too as well. So you're just constantly being on like the proper search and filter. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And now going back to something that we touched on it very briefly earlier about Destiny 2. So there's a Wall Street analyst firm that's actually just downgraded Activision. There's basically what they're saying is they don't think it's worth buying at its current price because of Destiny 2. Because it's had missteps, it's had its audience falling off, and specifically, they don't think it has a very good chance to recover at this point. And so they think that that's going to bring down Activision's performance for the year, basically, like offset the upside they saw from Call of Duty World War II, is what they're saying. There are a couple of things, like we've gone through so much Destiny 2 stuff that they got caught throttling experience, and we're like, no, it's cool, we'll fix it. And then they, messed something else up when they, fixed that. And there's just been this sort of like cascade of miscommunications or missteps in the fixes to things that people were upset about. There's been the upset about Bright Engrams in general and the Eververse and the, even like
lack
right
of
at
balance,
launch.
the PvP.
So it's not in a great place right now. In fact, I think the letter they sent out to investors was Destiny 2 is in a bad place right now, is what it was like actually headlined. And in interest, not just in players, but in the overall audience has really dipped. So a year ago, Destiny 1 streams on Twitch were looking at, 14 to 17,000 concurrents. Not its highest, it was down, it's been out a couple years. But now Destiny 2, just a few months after its launch, is down to like 4 to 7.
Yeah.
So the audience also isn't really watching as much Destiny stuff. So some of the bigger Destiny streamers are now moving to other things, which then loses that as well. So it's just a sort of vicious downward cycle.
Yeah, you had a lot of people like Cathalion and Professor Broman and whatnot, like big, huge streamers that kept Destiny alive because they kept like rejuvenating that directory, and they kept this kind of like, Destiny was a very interesting community because it was just a game that was very, not a lot of people left it, but the people that stayed were very dedicated. And so the Destiny directory turned into kind of like this family where you'd have a lot of the top streamers supporting like the mid-tier, lower streamers, whatnot, and just a lot of cross-pollination there. And then everyone just kept feeding each other's audiences to each other to keep the directory alive. It was very much this campaign of like, keep Destiny going, keep Destiny alive. And it's unfortunate now because a lot of people's patience have grown thin or just are non-existent at this point, because you have a lot of people like those big streamers who are playing, they're looking to other games. They're playing Fortnite, they're playing Sea of Thieves right now. They're just gone elsewhere.
You excited about Sea of Thieves?
I am. It looks really fun. That's definitely one of those games that it's going to be as fun as you make it out to be. So
I think it's going to be all about having like a fun group of players to play with, which is very much like the Destiny thing, right? A lot of people, they made friendships in Destiny. You could go on a raid like your 5th time, whatever, just because it was like something cool and fun to do with your friends. But there are a lot more games like that now than there were when Destiny came out. But do you think there's anything Destiny 2 can do to save itself? Like, what would it need?
I mean, a complete balance to PvP. I don't really know exactly what that looks like anymore because I really didn't get into Destiny 2 PvP too much. I played a little bit and I was just like, I wasn't a fan of the the TTK, the time to kill. It was just too long. You could shoot someone a couple times and you had that kill, but then they had enough health to survive and just run around the corner and get elsewhere. So that just didn't seem like a fun competitive game. So I feel like a complete balance to PvP. I'm surprised there wasn't private servers announced like right away. I feel like it's something that should have been just like day one. And honestly, just more content. I know it sounds like rough, and like, of course, I'm not a developer or anything like that, but like just more content in general, like more clean content for people to keep coming back to. Because what made Destiny 1 so great was just that first experience for a lot of different console players of that really enticing carrot on that stick to just keep coming back to. It's like all this loot and whatnot. And you got a little bit of that with like Diablo 3 when it moved over to console, but it was like on cocaine when Destiny came out, that whole loot like rush. So I feel like just overhauling the PvP and some more clean content. Because the thing too is like a lot of people are just like, oh, I'm not gonna come with Destiny, I'm done with it, etc. But a lot of people in the back of their minds are looking for a reason to come back. When the raid hits, that's the perfect time, you know, to really rejuvenate their game. So even though it might be really shitty right now for Activision and whatnot, they could completely turn it around, especially in this day and age. So, I don't know.
I mean, we've seen other games do it.
Yeah.
And they've done it well. And Destiny, the original Destiny, made huge strides. Like it came out and a lot of people played through it, and then it did start to suffer from people saying, well, what do I do now? But I think that Destiny 2 also removed a lot of the end game stuff that they'd been doing so well by the end of Destiny 1. And so people got to the end and now feel like there's no reason to keep coming back every week for like the weekly event or whatever, that they just don't have the carrot.
Yeah.
That, you know, maybe, you know, new expansion came out, oh great, everyone played it in a week and left again. And that it's that like, what do you do when the game is finished? What's the benefit to continuing playing?
I mean, they completely rejuvenated and brought a lot of people back in Destiny 1 with the Taken King DLC. Just, you know what I mean? Something like that on that level could completely bring people back. So.
Cool. And then finally, there's been some talk about BioWare this week that they're like, right now they're like all in on working on Anthem, but Dragon Age executive producer Mark Dara has confirmed they are working on another Dragon Age game as well. Ooh. I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah.
Have you ever played a Dragon Age game? Because I'm going to bet that you have not.
I have downloaded it, but I have still yet to hit play on it.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Way back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fantasy Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, okay.
Like very
It's
more
slash
fun.
like fantasy Mass Effect
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
with dragons.
I can mess with that for sure.
It's fun.
Especially because I got the Switch and I've been doing like Zelda, and I'm back into like these games that use a massive amount of hours to get through. I'm looking for some things to play off like stream. So.
Yeah, well, this is, I like Dragon Age as a franchise. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's really cool. Inquisition, it came out, it did okay, but it definitely, I don't think it was the pinnacle of the franchise for most people. So I'd be very curious to see where they go with a new Dragon Age. What do you want to see in it?
What do I want to see in it? I don't know. Like I really liked building the characters and like building them in different ways with the skill trees.
Do you actually build different characters, or do you end up like veering into one character type every time you play?
Well, so the first time I play, I'll normally go one character type. I'll do like a mage of sorts, but then I'll look at I'll go online after I'm done and like look at what other people made and like what some kind of gimmicky builds or like some other fun ways that you can run through it, like combining like a warrior type and a magic type that aren't supposed to be combined, and you get like a dude who can teleport in and then just hit people with a big sword and then teleport out. It's like, okay, cool. Like, here's all these variations. So yeah, I want to see more ways to kind of mix and match play styles to like do new builds.
There's also something cool about I liked this about Inquisition. I liked the replayability aspect of, so you create a character, and you know how in Mass Effect you could go with your like Paragon run or your Renegade run, And so you would want to play the game a couple times just to see how things get different. You're like, I really want to punch the reporter this time around. Yeah, Renegade. I had a really hard time making a Renegade run because I would like say all these terrible things to people, or I would do terrible things, and I was just like,
I know.
So, okay, whenever you're playing, are you the character? Like, are you like, what would I do in this situation?
I try and do the right thing.
Okay, so like,
I'd be like, what's the right thing to do here? And like, I try and do the right thing. So, I can see why they moved away from the whole Paragon Renegade thing with Andromeda, because they wanted to be more nuanced.
Yeah.
As opposed to, here's the good thing, here's the bad thing, and you eventually have, to like a hard, like you can go down the middle, sure, but you're not going to get the biggest rewards that way.
Yeah.
So I can see why they wanted to move away from that in Andromeda, but it did make, it was a nice little like guiding path for replaying some of the original trilogy. In Dragon Age, so when I was playing through Inquisition, you can choose like a couple of different factions to align with, and if you align with one, then you're the enemy of the other one. So you sort of get that as well. It's also a bit more nuanced than just like Paragon Renegade in your interactions with other characters, and you can choose like your starting race, and then you'll have a much more difficult time working with certain characters because they are
that makes sense.
Or even
racist.
like your starting class, like mages are feared because they're like can do things nobody else can. So it's like, okay, we need to keep you in check. Like you could be bad.
Yeah. So it's it's pretty cool. There's a lot of replayability. It's a lot of fun. I like this setting.
Yeah.
I think that Inquisition, I don't think the driver was quite strong enough to get a lot of people out of the opening area. I think a lot of people like wandered around in the mountains, like killed some bears, and were like, and then just dropped out of the game.
Yeah, it was one of those games that a lot of people, which I had a problem with, because I enter an area and I want to complete every side quest.
Oh yeah, but you can't.
And so it's like I have to test the water, and be like, okay, well I'm level 1, that's level 40 area.
Like that's clearly not meant for me yet.
And so
back.
it's an effort of will to be like, move past it. Don't worry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to move on. It's okay to go to another area. You can come back.
Yeah.
You have to have those like talks with yourself if you're used to 100%ing an area before you ever move on. That's not really gonna fly.
But then there's that panic mode where the game goes, there's no turning back after this point.
And you're like,
go do everything. Go do everything now.
No.
Those modes.
No, I like those moments because I'm like, okay, you are telling me right now to
gotta
go back.
go finish
And I'm
everything.
okay with that. Like, if you give me a warning that after this, like, it's going from like open world to here's your path to the end and you can't deviate, I prefer to have that warning than to be on the path and then suddenly realize
it's like,
that.
turn around, it's like, oh, I can't open that door again. Damn it.
Exactly. So I dig the warning. Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited to see what they do. It seems like it's very early in development. I wonder if it's Austin that's working on it, because Edmonton is leading Anthem.
That'd be cool.
So it would make sense to me that it would be in Austin, since they've only got the one other location anymore. Although that was a new studio anyway, so I guess they're used to running without it.
Yeah.
All right. One big news to talk about, but this is going to be a bigger discussion. This is Xbox Game Pass. All right, so Xbox Game Pass, not new, been out for a while.
Yep.
This is Xbox's subscription service. You can subscribe to it and for a couple bucks a month, and it's basically like a Netflix, where you have access to a library of games. It's a little bit different than PlayStation Now in that PlayStation Now you stream games just from one of their servers, but with Xbox you download it like you would any game that you purchased digitally, and you play it as much as you like. And so that's what their initial offering was. They've also just announced that all of their new first-party releases will be available as part of Xbox Game Pass day one, like the day they launch. So instead of buying any Xbox first-party game ever again, you could pay $10 a month and just be subscribed to this and have access to it. And they've said it's going to be permanent, like the games will be in there permanently. and they'll be on launch, and because they're play anywhere, you can also play them on PC.
What?
Yep. Crazy, right? So
That's enticing.
Yeah.
It's a little enticing.
it's
yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It has the potential to, dramatically drop their game sales numbers, because instead of buying the game, people will just pay $10 and subscribe and play
Yeah.
it however much they like, and then unsubscribe until something else comes out that they like. If people actually pay better attention to their subscription services than like I do, for example. But it has the ability to dramatically increase the number of people who play the games, because at $10 a month, it's super accessible. You can try it, and then you if you're like, I like this, and there's something else coming out in 2 months, so I'll just like leave the subscription.
Yep.
And so you might get, maybe only 1 million people buy the game, but 10 million people play the game. So I'm very interested to see how that would affect their income, because it does mean that instead of $60 for a full retail game at launch, they're making a portion of $10.
Yeah.
How often does a new first-party Xbox game come out?
At the moment,
Yeah.
not often enough.
Not really often.
So if
Not often enough.
if somebody like us who pay for a subscription and then forget about it and don't cancel it for months on end.
Yep, which
Well,
is
it
all of
takes
us.
it
Yeah.
basically.
3 of us here.
Yeah.
If you were to think of it as the price of 2 full retail games per year,
Yeah.
that's the subscription for the year.
Yeah.
Is the equivalent. So if I were to get, I was like, Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2.
Yeah.
There's $120 right there. If I as long as I want to play each of those, if I would buy those, then that's fine. If I leave the subscription going all year, I at least broke even.
Yeah.
Any more than that, and that's great. I saved all this money.
Yeah.
Can you only rent out one game at a time? Like, what are the
Nope.
parameters?
You can do as many as you like.
So I could pay $10, download all these games,
Yep.
Yeah.
and just keep playing all of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
As well as I think there's there's got to be some way they're looking at it where it's like all these past games in the library who's like, well, nobody's going to buy them, but we can technically make $10 a month off of you
Yeah.
playing an old game that you weren't going to buy.
So we're having all these worries now about what is this going to mean? Does it mean that developers are going to make less money because they're going to have less sales or fewer sales of games? And so are they going to go under? Are they going to have to start cutting budgets? Are they going to have to start making smaller games? But if we look at Netflix as the model, it's created this really interesting sort of wide range of territory for the kinds of content you can have. Netflix has got the older stuff that they just license in.
Yeah.
But then they do all their original stuff. And some of their original stuff is really high budget. They're at
Stranger
Sundance,
Things.
buying up tons of movies, and they're up there, they're buying things at auction with the Warner Brothers of the world. They've got revenue.
They're buying all the best anime every season. They're getting the top of the line, most anticipated shows.
Yeah.
So they're getting good stuff.
So they are able to pay for it, but it also requires scale. They've got 60, 70 million subscribers. And so it takes this huge subscriber base to keep that going, but they're able to create content, really good stuff, and fund it via Netflix. And it doesn't matter what its sales are. It doesn't matter what anything else is, as long as Netflix says, we will pay you for that.
So it's $10 a month. Do you also have to be an Xbox Live subscriber?
Nope, it's separate.
Okay, it's separate.
So if you are also an Xbox Live subscriber, you'll be able to access the online portions of those like you would.
So they probably are also counting on you to be an Xbox Live subscriber as well, providing these multiplayer games.
To get the most out of a
But it's not
multiplayer
required.
game.
Yeah.
But if you were to play a single player game, you take Cuphead, you don't need to be an
Yeah.
Xbox Live Gold member to get the most out of Cuphead.
Yeah.
To give you an example on what's on there, they have all of the BioShock games, Borderlands 1. They have a lot of the Dead Rising games, a lot of the Gears of War games, Fable 2 and 3. There's a lot of games in here that you could probably spend hundreds of hours playing just for the $10 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's a pretty attractive prospect, I think. I'm actually interested in getting it. And an interesting thing has happened as well. It could have a huge impact on like the used games market.
Yeah.
Because why would you go?
Yeah.
Like you go, you've played a game, you took it to GameStop, they gave you $30 for it because it's like it's a new release game.
Yeah.
They gave you $30, and then they turn around and sell it for $50 or $55. So like, it's $5 to $10 off, but they can get pretty decent margin out of it. Now, you don't need to buy it in the first place, or you don't need to go and buy a used game and see if you can get a couple dollars off it. You just I feel like playing something. Let's see what's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just get past it.
And so you can do that. And retailers are really unhappy about this. An Austrian retailer just delisted all Xbox hardware. They have no interest in selling Xbox now because they're like, why should we? Why would we help you?
That's interesting. I mean, like, I get where they're coming from. You know, I understand that. I kind of feel like for Xbox, this is, even though it might hurt them revenue-wise, because I'd really like to see like how this is split between developers and every licensing and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like this is another good step for Microsoft to kind of like win back the hearts of gamers, because they didn't have a strong E3 last year. They don't have a solid like lineup of first-party games.
They don't have a good game plan.
Well, Cole.
Cole, please.
They do have some interesting stuff coming this year. I'm really excited about Sea of Thieves, and that's pretty soon. That's in March, and the closed beta is out, so people are streaming it. You can like see it in action. It looks pretty great. It looks promising. State of Decay 2, Ori. I want to call it Ori in the Blind Forest 2. Ori 2. It's Ori and the Will-o'-the-Wisp.
Yeah.
But isn't State of Decay coming out on PC as well?
Well,
They're all coming out
yeah.
on PC as well.
All Xbox first party, yeah.
Yeah, because at the very least, they're going to be available via, like the, Windows 10 store, the way like as Play Anywhere stuff. But a lot of them will also be on Steam.
Yeah, see, that's the interesting thing with like Twitch making PC gaming so mainstream. It's very interesting. It's like, well, a lot more people now are owning, rigs, just computer rigs.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the worst time to like actually build a
don't
computer
build
right
one.
now. Don't build one right
build
now
one.
because cryptocurrency mining has skyrocketed GPUs to like double the price. But
Triple.
yeah. It's
Like they're like 1070s. That's like a $350 card. They're now like $1,000.
yeah, it's pretty nutty.
Do not build a gaming PC right now. If you need a new gaming PC, buy one. And no one ever advises that. No one ever advises that.
No one
but
ever says get a
otherwise, you
pre-built
will be
one.
paying
But
triple the price for your GPU.
Manufacturers get their parts directly from the providers like NVIDIA and whatnot, or like Asus and all that kind of stuff. So they don't really have that skyrocketed GPU price. Weird to say, but yeah, Ashley is
Super
correct.
weird.
If you absolutely need a computer right now, pre-built. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you've already got one, keep what you got. Just enjoy it
Just
enjoy it a
wait.
little longer.
Who knows when this storm will pass, but just wait.
I've also been looking into some more of the details of Games Pass, and it looks like on the first of every month they will add at least 5 titles to Games Pass. There's a possibility that some games might leave, but they'll notify you beforehand, and it's not like a first of the month it rotates out like Netflix has certain shows that rotate out every month. And if a game does rotate out, or if it's just a game you want to purchase, you get 20% off the game or the best available discount.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So is it the kind of thing where, because you said it's not streamed, it's downloaded.
Yes.
I forget, does Xbox allow external drives?
Yes.
Okay, so you can just download as many
At
as
this
you
point,
want.
I think Xbox pretty much expects you to have an external drive.
Okay, cool.
Like the Xbox One X with the 1 terabyte drive is. I never thought I'd be like, a terabyte, what a joke.
Yeah.
But
now.
it doesn't hold a lot of games.
Yeah.
When
It's
you've
so
got
big.
when you've got like your 70 gigabyte game is like a normal thing. It doesn't hold too many of them.
I remember seeing like the Western Digital, like My Passport, like the just external drive you could take with you. And I remember just like, whoa, that's a terabyte in there? Are you kidding me? That's
I put every game,
crazy.
every game ever made on
I
there.
put every single Blu-ray that I've illegally downloaded.
You can get a portable 4 terabyte
Alfredo.
hard drive for $100 right now.
What's that?
You can get a portable 4 terabyte hard drive for $100 right now.
See, put all of your money into portable hard drives, not GPUs.
That's where they store all the bitcoins.
Yeah.
It's all in there.
That's where it's stored.
Don't tell anyone or the prices will skyrocket. Yeah, so I think this is a really interesting thing. I think the retailer delisting them is only the first of several to come. I was actually working for Xbox when I lived in Australia, and they were just starting to roll out digital purchases of Xbox 360 games. And it was a fight with retailers then as well. I was pretty insulated from like the sales team and how all that stuff worked. So I only heard a lot of it secondhand. But what Australia ended up doing is I think games didn't release digitally for at least 6 months after they came out, that they were available for purchase, like at retailers, and they couldn't be sold digitally below MSRP, which for Australia it sort of works opposite of the U.S., where in the U.S. you can set the manufacturer can set a minimum price, and then retailers can charge more than that if they want to. Australia is kind of the opposite, where the manufacturer sets a price, but retailers can discount it however they like.
It's kind of like a bidding war for customers.
Yeah. Just the retail culture is really different there, and there's not an online disruptor of this on the scale of Amazon.
Yeah.
So the retailers have like a lot of power, and so they. So everyone had to like jump through all these hoops in order to start digital distribution. Things like the delays and charging, this MSRP. And MSRP doesn't drop because eventually retailers just charge less as they like. And so you get these like full price games that are like 2 years old, and everyone would go, why would I buy that digitally?
Yeah, I can go to.
There's no value proposition there. So it was a really huge uphill battle. I'm not sure how it's changed since then, but I remember at the time being like, this is pretty crazy. And now we've actually got a retailer essentially boycotting Xbox over this new subscription program.
Yeah, like I could definitely see myself using that program for the new games, and also, like even with like GameStop, I would turn in a lot of used games all the time because I was like, what am I gonna do with NBA 2K15? And it's like 2 years later. It's like, well, at least I'll get something out of it and put it for a reservation for something else.
Nothing.
But with this whole Game Pass thing, just like, cool, I just pay the $10. Sure, I'll play the latest like whatever sport game, and then just not have to worry about having this backlog of like all these NFL games on my shelf. So.
Yeah. I mean, keeping in mind as well that we don't know what the publisher, like third-party publisher buy-in will be like for new releases. This, at the moment, is just
first party.
Xbox first-party stuff. So it's
Stuff
it's
could
going to
be
be like,
delayed, non-existent.
hey. This year, theoretically, it's, let's see, Sea of Thieves, Ori 2, State of Decay 2, Crackdown 3. And they've mentioned as well, like future Halo titles, future Gears of War titles, that kind of thing. What else is coming out this year? First-party stuff for Xbox. Oh, Forza, like a new Forza game, maybe like Forza Horizon 4 or something, if I get real lucky.
Per usual, yeah.
Yeah. So there's definitely options. Like I guess racing is the closest thing we get to like a sports title at the moment. But if they cut a really good deal with EA, so that you, instead of having to buy every year, you just subscribe and then you got that. But EA also wants to do it via EA Access.
They do.
Yeah, but that'd be so dangerous because EA is also just making money from Ultimate Team. So like they wouldn't be too worried about.
You think that publishers would just go ahead and put their games in and count on you to buy the microtransactions anyway?
I can see that if if the FIFA people out there can just like get FIFA and then just have that extra money to spend on microtransactions.
And that train won't stop. Like they'll just keep spending. They're
Yeah.
like, cool, I have $50 invested into this year's FIFA, and just keep going over and over and over. Yeah,
It's just like a rollover. Like you don't have to go out and buy a new game. Like one day there's just a new FIFA in your library that you can play.
But then, is there a risk that publishers would start engineering games for this kind of environment where they put in more microtransactions because they know you're not paying full price for the game?
Yeah. I mean,
They're like, they got some disposable income now. They're not paying $60
well,
for
it
it.
depends on what the microtransactions are. If it's skin-based, no one's going to say anything. But if it's just like content-based, I don't think that'll fly with anybody.
It's definitely, look, anything more than cosmetic skins at the moment is meeting a lot of blowback from the gaming community.
Like, Yeah, I don't know. That'd be rough if you're just like, okay, cool, we're gonna put it on Game Pass, and then it's free,
Except
with
for
your
sports games.
subscription. You know.
Sport, but that's also, I think there is blowback from the gaming community, but there's a bigger whaling community that just.
Yeah, the sports games are a little bit different because I think the majority of the sports game audience isn't active within the gaming community necessarily. They're obviously playing the games.
Yeah.
And they're dropping money on Ultimate Team and all that, but they're not necessarily participating in the gaming community or gaming culture. They just want to play their game.
Yeah.
They don't care.
They just want to play a game, and they want Tom Brady. That's all they want. They just want him.
That's it. It's worth a couple extra bucks. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaguars choked so bad. So bad.
All right, speaking of sports people, because they're all like fit and ripped and do way more training than I do, I need to talk about gamifying fitness because I need some help. All right, there was this big move last generation, especially with like Kinect, to like a lot of companies put out like these fitness games. I know they didn't really work all that well for me because they felt a little bit more like they were just an interactive version of like a Buns of Steel workout video.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see that. I feel that.
Yeah. But I'm trying to get back in shape. I've been pretty lazy for a while now. And so I'm trying to like get back into it. And my go-to used to be I would, like in front of the treadmill, I've got set up a TV and it's got like a little shelf so I can have a console there. So I've got an Xbox set up. I can put like the PS4 there. I can play games, whatever. So that I could be walking. I can't walk at full speed and also play games. And I also can't play anything in first person.
Because then you turn and you
Because
actually.
then, yeah, like I tried that and like walked myself off the treadmill, and that was just.
Well,
I'm such an idiot. But so I'm trying to find different like things to do because my fitness is just good enough that I get much more benefit from running than I do from walking for a couple of hours.
Interesting.
So the gaming itself, I can't do as much of. So I gotta find other ways to gamify my fitness. Like I know that Meg was a big fan of Zombies Run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But I'm trying to find ways of like, how do you court discipline? You work out.
I did. I don't anymore, but I did for 2 years straight, and I did 6 days a week. And I had like a whole, like, counted my calories, 5,000 calories a day.
yeah.
Yeah. And then 500 carbs a day.
That's so much calories.
My metabolism was so high.
Oh my God.
And I was working out like hour workouts. Six times a week. So I was burning all that food. Yeah.
I mean, if I was doing 5,000 calories a day,
Yeah. I went from like 145 to like 180.
you got swole.
A bit, yeah.
Nice.
But then I was like, I miss eating food for the sake of eating food and not cramming this quinoa down my throat.
Yeah, my metabolism's definitely caught up with me, which has made everything a lot harder than it used to be.
I'm
Like I
feeling
remember,
it. It's creeping on me.
I remember mid-20s, I'd be like, yeah, I can have whatever, it's gonna be great.
Oh, good.
And then like, I could just like bust out a 7-mile run and not even think about it. And now I'm like, oh, I can't run too much because I haven't built up my joints.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I wake up like, what?
They're
My
not
knee,
strong
why?
enough. My foot, last time I tried like just doing, like I'm gonna run 90 minutes a day, and like this is what I do now. 3 days in, something happened to my foot and I couldn't run for 6 weeks. Like, and I'm like limping around, I'm like,
Yep. And then everything you
When did I get
everything you did in your
so-
younger years catches up with you
Yeah.
too. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, there's all that pitching I did.
Got my
Like,
limbo knee.
Yeah.
But then that also, all that makes all the fitness more important to court.
It does.
So I'm hoping that like finding some sort of reward scenarios, like, get that carrot, will somehow help me to actually stick with fitness. Because otherwise it's really, really easy to get home and sit down on the couch. And if I sit down on the couch, the day is over.
Done.
Yeah.
That's like,
That's it.
that's like end. I don't get back up.
It's getting started is difficult, but once you're started, once you're in a routine, you just want to keep going. Especially because you start seeing the progress. It becomes a routine, so it's just something you automatically, it's like, okay, gotta do. It's like, this is part of my day. Taking breaks from that routine will definitely like, you know, kill like your streak and make you not work out anymore or whatnot, which is difficult for us because we'll work out for like 3 months and then travel for a week. It's like, well, how do you
travel?
Yeah,
crunch,
exactly.
Like you gotta.
I remember waking up at 6
late.
in the morning at E3 and going to work out.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
Wow,
man.
that's dedication.
There was a time when I was very dedicated with that, yeah.
So
But it's rough.
is the gamification, is it centered around running? Because I know a bunch of us here got really into bouldering.
Yeah, I remember a bunch you guys did
Yeah.
that.
Bouldering.
So it's essentially rock climbing without ropes.
But it's not. I'm
It's
not.
dangerous.
But it's not the full wall.
No, it's probably like maybe
It's like a shorter wall.
10-foot, 8-foot wall.
Oh, okay.
Imagine like a jungle gym for adults.
Yeah.
You just like,
I like
you
the sound
climbing
of
all over
But
that.
it's like, and there's 2 here in town, but I found that I really like that because it was a game. It was, I came in the first day and there was 3 colors on the wall that I could do. There was like the blue, the green, or blue, green, red, and yellow.
Yeah, you try and only use the grips of the color that you're going for.
That makes
Because there's
sense.
grips all over the
Yeah.
place. I like to
They have
cheat.
that with
I'm a
rock
cheater.
climbing too, right? It's kind of color coordinated.
Different, like it's called different rated problems.
Yeah.
And so, but I remember after the first week, and it's not this exponential, or it slows down a lot, but after the first week, I could go to the next color. And the thing is that it wasn't all about just can you muscle your way up. It's thinking about, okay, well, how do I place my foot there to give me enough leverage to like do a quick push and grab here, then I can, that leg's there so I can kind of levy myself up. Because it turned into like the biggest, most swole dude there wouldn't
Sleep bouldering,
win.
right?
Whoa.
Yeah, and like
I'll take that little tiny one on the bottom right with the yellow. Yeah, that one's more my pace.
But then there's this purple right here that you actually just have to go horizontally all the way around to the other side.
What is that? How do you even?
So that's like you have to just learn to use your palms and like make like little clamps
Like
with your
this?
Yeah.
Like, oh,
and eventually
hell.
like you get callous and
If you're looking to gamify it, like there are different types of boulders that you can grip onto in
Yeah.
different ways, and like palm them, or just have like straight up ledges you can grab onto, and then each of them are broken down to different levels or problems, I believe, are what they're called.
yeah. And like around the corner from here, there's one that you start upside down and you have to climb up.
Wait, you mean upside down? You don't mean like head towards the ground. You mean like
Your back
lean-
towards the
like-
ground. Like you're
Yeah, so you're like leaning back.
like here's the
Spider-Man on the
wall.
ceiling?
Yeah, like you are like this.
Whoa.
And then some that you have to like do a running start, go put a foot on, jump up, and try to grab on the ledge, and might be just like fingertips. But you have to work your way up to that.
Yeah.
So it's, and like every time you go, I mean, we talk about it, like a bunch of the guys in the office still go every week. I had to cancel my subscription because I bought a house and that's expensive.
It's very expensive.
And this, the membership is
But good
pretty-
on you.
is-
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. As you lift weights too, you can kind of tell like, oh, cool, because I was doing bicep curls earlier this week, I can grip this boulder easily this week, and I'm able to easily maneuver this problem. So like it goes hand in hand with lifting weights or cardio, and you kind of climb easier and work your way up through these levels.
Yeah.
And you definitely like go in once or twice a week, and like there can be in your level and your color, you can start a problem on Monday, and maybe by Friday you've figured out how to solve it, as long as it's like not the next level up. And you just kind of like take a couple months and maybe you reach that next color, and then you take a couple more months to reach the next color. And I know a couple guys this past weekend went out just to there's some like actual boulders problems out in the Greenbelt, McKinney Falls, and they were like, okay, we're gonna go out and climb in nature. Like we've kind of learned this. You can rent crash pads. And
That's
so
awesome.
That sounds
it,
fun.
It does get like it's not as much of the cardio and like endurance building, but it builds flexibility, builds like strength in places that you don't think you would normally need strength.
They look like good, strong hands.
Yeah.
Good, good hands.
The best part is they rotate out these problems every week.
Yeah,
So
each
always
wall
new.
is changed every week.
Oh.
Or each one wall is changed every week.
Okay. So there's always something new to climb.
Yeah.
I think this is like kind of the perfect thing you're talking about.
It might
here.
be,
This
because
is
it's like,
very-
it seems like it'd be actually like engaging.
Yeah.
like mentally, you get real strong.
It also,
Just like
the community
holding
there is
a Wii
awesome
remote.
because like nobody's like judging. It's people coming up and go, oh hey, I saw you did this. They're like, if you turn this way or if you reach for that one instead, like I saw you reach for this one, reach this way, and you'll find it's a lot easier. And then you go and do exactly what they said, and it's like, yeah, you're right. And then you get to become that person to other people. So it's a very awesome community.
The boulder community is a very friendly community.
Yes.
That's good. Supportive communities are like, it's nice. When someone is like, hey bud, you're doing real cool. Try this.
Yeah.
Like that's nice. I like it.
Yeah. It's not like that at the gym when you first try it out. You go in and everyone's just like pumping weights.
Grunting and yelling.
Grunting and yelling, and it's like, then you start to realize like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about gyms too is that like everyone's just doing their own thing. And once you start doing your own thing in the gym, you don't care either.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And then you realize, oh, no one cared when I started because I don't care
Yeah.
about anybody else.
Yeah.
There's also something that's motivating about being in a place where other people are also trying to like improve themselves.
Oh yeah, we have one of the editors, Richard. Blaine and him had a rivalry for a long time, where it's like, okay, I beat this one this day. When did you beat it? It's like, oh, you beat it. You beat me this time. I got to beat you to the next one.
Yeah, so that's definitely gamifying right
Yeah.
there, for sure. Also, like, just eating.
Yeah.
Eating is just such a big part of just being healthy. So, have you been eating?
I eat too badly.
No, I'm with you on that too. Like we were just talking about Snap Kitchen, and I feel like it's expensive, but I was going to try a different I don't have time to cook because I do like 12-hour days pretty much sometimes, like 6 days a week. And so I'm like, I don't have time to cook. I can't keep going out and just eating. So I was like, maybe try something different, like pre-prepped meals that I don't have to cook or something.
Yeah, I've got to work on my discipline for sure, because it's so easy to say yes in the moment or to sit on the couch.
Yeah.
Like I've been trying to set myself a challenge to like work out every day this week. Like just go on the treadmill. I've got an exercise bike at home. It's at home. I don't have an excuse, and I still manage to not do it. And so I'm trying so hard to court that discipline.
Honestly, like building a routine and making it a routine, and if you can, having someone else who's also motivated.
That's the key. Motivated.
Because when you're
But motivation
Because
fizzles out.
that's why you have somebody else who's motivated to
that's
help
the
you.
thing.
Because Miles and I are not motivated, and we tried to be workout buddies. And it became us texting each other at 6 a.m. like, hey,
you're not feeling it.
how are you feeling? Are you all right?
Like hoping the other person is ready to cancel out.
You stayed up kind of late last night. Are you sure?
I think we should cancel.
So you were sabotaging each other?
Absolutely. We're like, I'm fine. Look, if you need to sleep in, I'm fine.
That sounds like that's like half an hour of unnecessary texting.
We're like, okay, we're going back to bed.
Yeah, but like having somebody else. I remember for me, it was my brother. So there'd be times where it's like, I don't feel it. He was like, no, we got to go. Let's go. Or vice versa, right? It was just like, oh, I'm kind of busy today. I'm like, well, let's do it in the morning then. Like having that other person to be like, no, we got to get it done. You got the time. Let's go. Like, just get it done and over with.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's always so difficult to start and to start just the workout for the day or to start working out, period. But you're never coming out of like running or doing bouldering or working at the gym and going, man, that was a waste of time. You know, you're never like coming out thinking like, why'd I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's rough.
I do think
Tough
about it
being
beforehand.
healthy.
I'm like, I could do it, or I could keep playing this game.
Zelda's not going to save herself. Gotta get in there.
I feel like now I just need to start getting back into working out for the sake of being able to eat what I want to eat.
Yeah, for me, it's
I'm never gonna give up cheeseburgers. Like, come on.
I feel like I get after myself, or like my internal monologue is very self-critical. That I'm like a lazy bum and I'm just like playing games all the time. And like I said, my metabolism's catching up with me, and I'm like, oh, you're just the worst. And if I could just like make it shh while I play my games, that would be nice. Shh. Anyway, I'm gonna give it a go. I want to try and find some way to, I don't know, like incorporate levels or rewards or doing something like that so that I actually like have that carrot to stick with it, like something to reach for. Because in a game like you're always going for like that next level.
Yeah.
But with fitness, it's harder to see. Like just being like, oh, I'm gonna run for 45 minutes instead. It doesn't feel like a reward. So I want to find something that will work for me as far as like the rewards or the loot or something. Because I've seen a lot of teachers that are trying to gamify education, and and they have it, and people will like level up as they go through their assignments and as they complete certain things, and that apparently works very well. I'd love to do something with fitness.
Have you heard of a Fitocracy?
Fitocracy?
Fitocracy, Fitocracy.
I've heard of it, but not for a very long time.
It's a pretty popular app. I used it for a little bit, but I haven't really dived into it. But a lot of what I saw was they give you quests and achievements for like fitness-based goals. So it has a lot of like what you're looking for.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, there's probably a bunch of apps, and also we live in Austin. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some like kooky like type of way of running that makes it fun.
Yeah.
Because you're not necessarily, for you, it's more maintaining. You're not out here being like, I want to, like build up muscle. You just want to maintain.
No, it's not. But I'm like,
yeah.
I'd like to drop 10 pounds of squish and replace it with 10 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
That's gonna be hitting that iron.
You're gonna do some squats.
Getting back in the gym. Yeah.
Do some push-ups. You're gonna do some planks.
I know. Well, I know it kind of died off, but
Play with kettlebells.
it does sound like even something kind of like what Pokemon Go was doing, where like to hatch the eggs you had to
You like go a certain distance.
you had to move a kilometer.
But I always got mad at that because I was like, you're not counting my kilometer, buddy.
You had to have your
You're
game
undercounting
open.
me.
The only way that it worked is if you had the watch or if you have like your game attached to your smartwatch or something where you had like the other way you had to have your app open, and that's the only way you could search, and then it drained your battery. And it was awful, but
Miserable experience all around.
but no, like that's another thing I heard you mention earlier. Like, oh, I'll run for 25 minutes, and then like there's no way to judge. Like, okay, well, did I actually do better?
Like what did I get out of this? Because just health
Yeah.
is like.
I want to just be healthy.
Right now, it's just I need
it's
something
just
else.
that it's not tangible. Like you can't hold it and be like, I've got this. You just feel better, but it's hard to quantify.
Yeah. See, she wants to feel healthy, get ripped, also be able to look back at it. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I accomplished, like I've got this to show for it. That's besides some sweet abs. Although I'd like to have some sweet abs again. I had sweet abs for a while. I think Amazing Race honestly ruined me. Because like I had a finish line there. Like I had an end goal. It was you're gonna be on TV in front of millions of people. You are going to the gym. Like there was a terror involved. Yeah. Maybe I just need to be scared more.
Make a fitness show.
Probably. Yeah.
No. No.
Then you have to be fit every week.
All right, well, I'm going to try out that Fitocracy thing. I will report back with my findings and see if I can find any good ways to, like, gamify fitness and being active. Thank you guys for indulging me. I feel like I need help. I need to, like, talk to people and be like, somebody help me. And if you guys have any suggestions, please, I'm all about finding gamification for getting in shape. So let's do all that together. And that's it for this episode of Glitch Please. Thank you so much for joining us, for watching. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Alfredo.
Thank you, Ashley.
I will not be here next week. I'm heading off to RTX Sydney.
Ooh,
that's right.
So,
Down
I
under.
will be on a plane when we are recording. Down under. But the show will go on. There will be plenty of other lovely people to talk to. And we will have a post-show exclusively for Rooster Teeth First members. That's New Game Plus on our website. You should check it out. If you're not a First member, you can become one. There's a free month trial. You can watch all the stuff and see if you're into that kind of thing. So I hope you do. And we'll see you next week.